Hello dogs, Lildawg right here right now. Welcome back to Magical Eyes. Red is for Anguish. Street corner, the cave. The gloomy street where there are a lot of shops like ramen shops so yummy. No one knows what they are even here for. All the residents here are disobeyers or people affiliated with them. I see. As I'm walking down Cave Street on my way to the Noodle Graveyard, I notice something isn't right around me. What bad timing. I was correct to not take Shizuku and June with me. Right behind me, 20 meters away, the unconcealed lust for battle is piercing my back. It's like the aura a beast gives out when it recognizes its prey. Regardless of what my day it is, this street is usually low on traffic. There's no one in sight at the moment either. The one behind me must have waited for this chance to pop up. Well, how about we talk first? Ignoring my proposal, the bloodlust approaches. It seems they just want to begin the fight immediately. I better get ready then. The people inside the nearby stores, I doubt they will fault us for this trifle. They're already just a few steps away. I try turning around to see the opponent's face. Twist myself around to dodge the arrow-like blow. Next comes a lightning-fast kick aimed at my side. Deciding I can't evade attack, I brace my left arm for blocking. With the assistance of the kick's momentum, I take several steps backwards to open up space for myself. Ugh. Could we stop this now? The man before me is exactly who I was expecting it to be. The look on his face makes it clear he's exhilarated. What a pain. I can tell he's not going to be composed enough to listen to me unless one of us puts us end to the fight. Ha! He furiously jumps off the ground to close the 3-meter distance towards me. This is an insane start to the episode, I must say. His speed is monstrous. But it's obvious that he's sacrificing the balance of his upper and lower body to generate that speed. Just as expected, he only delivers a faint level perfunctory blow, and I parry it with minimal motion. The attack was clearly not meant to do any damage to me, which means... Gah! The opponent throws a kick towards my solar plexus, but I managed to dodge it by twisting my body. It resembles a frontal karate kick, but it's even more brutal, reminding me of a sharp javelin. The fight is moving along much faster than I assumed. I have to change my mindset. In conjunction with that decision, I changed my stance from my left side facing front to the right. Now I know what he wants. He wants a high-speed exchange of blows in close quarters instead of predicting and responding to each other's moves. With that realization, I think I'll grant him his wish and satisfy him. He kicks off the ground again to move toward me at ultra-high speed. No, this is not it. This is not the main dish. The man facing me knows who I am and understands an attack this weak cannot hurt me at all. The rain of blows suddenly ceases. The assailant bends his upper body forward as though having run out of energy. The more furious the attacks are, the more opportunities there are to counterattack after you parry them. I wouldn't blame you if you consider this motionless moment he just created to be one of those opportunities, but I can tell this is just a preamble to... What the? As he draws his left shoulder back to shoot a left lethal blow, I throw a kick with my right leg at the base of his left arm. The kick isn't powerful, but strong enough to unbalance the attacker's body. I succeed at completely neutralizing his technique by hitting his fulcrum point. While he pulls himself up to regain balance for a couple milliseconds, I thrust my right fist toward him and halt it right before his face. Oh boy, I think I'm done for. Can I take that to mean I win? Sure thing, afraid I must admit my defeat. Alright, looks like he's ready to talk now. Oh boy, I never thought you'd take me down in the middle of that technique before you even tried to dodge it. Roku, I told you this a few times too many, but you have to stop attacking me out of nowhere. It really freaks me out. A person who belongs to a group called the Disobeyers, just like the protagonist. Age unknown. Unlike you, who fights the variants at the front, he works for the intelligence department consisting of professional support members. With his partner Akane, he gathers information on the peripheral areas. He finds the most pleasing thing to brush up his mind and body, and he spends his life only focusing on how to prove himself every single day. Freaks you out? That's a nice one. I know this barely counts as a greeting to you. What kind of crazy guy does he think I am? By the way, your last technique was one of the hand immobilization attacks from Jeet Kune Do. Didn't mean to use it like that, but it might be the same in a way. I thought the technique was just pure theory craft in terms of actual combat. What's more is you pulled it off right even though you faced that technique for the first time. Just amazing. Roku, you weren't here to ambush me, were you? I'm afraid not. I'm on my way to Pops with a report. Then I saw you and I felt like doing that. You can't attack someone just because you feel like it. You going to him as well? Yes, I need to know if there's any progress on the case. That's excellent timing. A lot of fresh ingredients just came in. Something to do with the doll? Yes, for one thing, the shop's owner cousin has been missing for 2 days. We witnessed that rank S scenario. We've witnessed that happening. The owner's cousin? The person isn't an owner of the doll, is he? No. Does that mean... I'll tell you more about it at So Yummy. There will be more people there. We witnessed the shop owner's cousin getting taken away during that S-rank scenario. That's pretty cool. Look who just arrived. What an unusual duo we have here. I ran into him near the station, and then he attacked me. What the hell is wrong with you? That's misleading. I just offered him a little combat in place of a hello. Since when has the street turned into a land of Azura? Anything wrong with that? You don't see anything wrong with it is what's wrong? Interesting. You sound like a philosopher, you. He's only saying what's common sense. Let's say there are some top-notch ingredients right before your eyes. What would you do, Pops? Guess I'd want to try to cook something with them. That's what this is all about. I see, that's what this is all about. Don't get convinced by such a cheap excuse. If picking a fight is as insignificant as cooking, I won't even be able to afford to take a walk out there. So, I know what Rokuru's here for. What about you, Junior? You want to know what's up in our investigation? That and there's something else I want to ask you, Pops. I'm not sure how it could be linked to the case, but Azuma had one good observation. All that clever cop did. Do tell, I'm curious too. Can I join? Sure. I see. He's looking for the reason the doll was in the backyard, huh? Basically, he suspects Nikawa may be more than just another victim? I guess so, but I have no idea what he suspects of being. The assailant, or one of those who know what's behind all of this, or something else. At least Azuma believes Nikawa thinks of the doll as more than a mere statue. That is one interesting speculation indeed. We were not exploring that point of view. We were convinced that we only needed to focus on the doll itself and whoever might be controlling it. That shop manager included, we decided on our own that all the doll owners were certain victims. Precisely, in spite of knowing we shouldn't let ourselves get biased just like this. I think we, the intelligence department, should get into it too. Right, because that shop owner is obviously way too irregular among the victims. It's certainly possible that not only he is in a different situation because he is somehow different from the other victims. Now that I know this, I suppose the intel I brought can help lead us somewhere. Yeah, it could be. Is it what you mentioned earlier? Yes, there are other people missing around the doll who aren't owners. Other people missing, as in other than the shop owner's cousin? Frankly, he's nothing more than the opening act. Yesterday, the police were informed about the disappearance of that individual. After they let us know about that, we decided to expand our investigation just in case. So you're working on the other missing people now. I said just in case, but we actually assigned quite a lot of personnel to it. Shortly after commencing the investigation, we confirmed that a missing man living in the city is an old friend of Nikawa. Already 2 people close to Nikawa are missing. Furthermore, this is something that's happening right now. And accordingly, we looked into whether the same happened around the previous owners, and as far as we can tell, 50 odd more people than we thought are missing. 50? This doll's been doing some work. And none of them left any trail whatsoever. That number doesn't include all the doll owners, does it? No, with those it would be more than 60. What we've found over the last few days is merely the tip of the iceberg, it seems. The case just turned into by far the biggest one in terms of the number of victims in recent history. Could it be that there's some kind of infectious power related? If so, there would have been way more victims. 20 years has to be long enough to have made that happen. And some of us disobeyers consequently would have become aware of it and tried to deal with it. I cannot say for certain, but I would say that it's nothing like what Pops is worried about. Our investigation shows that the range is limited. The victims only break down into 2 categories. Those that own the doll, or those that are close to them. I wouldn't say 60 missing people is limited. I guess this whole thing is going too far to blame on the doll anymore. Even though we're not even sure what sort of entity the culprit might be, one thing is for sure that they are a devil that drags you into nightmare. But even so, I hate to bring this up, but why hasn't anybody found any of this until now? The police should have happened to hear about some of the missing people cases as long as their investigation came to the surroundings of the doll owners. A person going missing isn't something that you can take lightly. This may sound like an excuse, but there's a reason. If the owners had been close to those missing, like their families or lovers, we would have instantly become aware of it. However, that wasn't the case. To be frank, they were all on bad terms with the owners. As for the knick-knack shop manager, he seems to have had financial issues with his missing cousin and friend. I misunderstood those extra people being very close to the owners just because they were victims too. No, hold on a second. The ones who get the best deal out of those extra missing cases are the doll owners, aren't they? That is exactly why. That is exactly why we're also interested in the fact that the shop owner is an exception. Doesn't that make it worthwhile trying to find out whether any of the other victims were similarly unusual? But those other victims are all gone. What is this all about? Well, I guess we should discuss that after we let one more player join us. One more player? This is just like a show. This is just like a show-off like you. What good time to show off? Hiya, high schooler. Like I said before, we meet again. Seems so. And unfortunately for both of us, it's not off duty. Alright. Alright, give me a moment. Alright, we're back. Let's get into it. You! Why the heck is even white collar here? You're blunt as usual. It's Roku who brought the intel. Well, I guess I'll have to stomach having him here then. Ren, let's take it easy, okay? I can't help it. Pop's dishes are the worst thing I know, and white color is the second worst. That's a pretty harsh comparison. Ouch. That stings so much even I hurt. Hey, ain't I the one the most offended here? Being allergic to each other is a common matter among disobeyers, each of whom possesses intense emotions, and Ren's enmity for Roku is a good example of that. So, Pops, I was told to drop by here for the info about that guy. Since high schoolers here, were you guys talking about that doll? Sorta. I don't mind stepping out if you guys need some privacy. No, I need you here too. I'm gonna give you Suzanari the same thing. What's that supposed to mean? Your case and his are now joined at the hip. To get right to the point, the damn name Sojima has something to do with the doll. Go ahead and elaborate. Sorry to interrupt, but who's this Shojima guy? Including that, we're going to share everything each of us know. I think everything that Sojima told Rin is completely relates to this case. That's the only way I can take it. But there's nobody from the Shirasawa group companies missing recently. Otherwise, we would have been suspicious about the guy and the doll much longer already. But you did find something, didn't you? Roku, will you explain? Sure thing. 5 years ago, the doll was owned by a man by Tamura, who naturally went missing. I dropped the list in my mind, yeah, the name was on it. And so did 2 other people familiar with him. And one of them was a man named Sojima. So Rin met someone who had disappeared for 5 years, and he filled Rin on the 5-year-old incident? By the way, Sojima, Tamura, and the other people missing one all used to work at a company called Shirasawa Electech. As you already figured out from its name, it's a Shirasawa group company. I did not, give me a moment. One of the affiliated companies of the Shirasawa Corporation specialized in electric technical products. The company is relatively new, having been founded 20 years ago, and their sales are not that high yet. They're currently working more with countries in East Asia and Southeast Asia than the European countries with which their parent company has strong relations. In other words, those 2 people had actually gone missing, but our investigation didn't cover them until now because their cases were years old. Exact same workplace, eh? Do we think he is the actual Sojima? We'll see soon. You've got that stuff ready, didn't you? I wouldn't be here otherwise. Suzunari, would you have a look at this? I peek at the picture from the side and see a suited young man in it. Who is this? This is a picture of Sojima taken during his lifetime. Rin's answer can change the whole picture of this case into something immensely different. There's still a possibility that those missing are still alive, hiding themselves for some reason. No, I hate to say it, but this is the Sojima I met. Okay. With that, we can narrow it down to a few possibilities. One would be that someone was disguised as Sojima, and he knows a lot about the missing Sojima. I think anyone can know about him missing and disguise themselves as him. The window of his disappearance was 3 months after his boss had gone missing, and he resided in an 8th-floor condo. That's exactly what you were told, right? I see, the fake Sojima knows details on the real Sojima's missing person case. But why did he choose to talk to me about it? As someone familiar with Sojima, he might have wanted you to help him figure out the truth. That's possible, but if I were him, I would have clung on to me for assistance much more stubbornly. I would go to a private detective or something. Yeah, true enough. Damn it, we're getting one riddle after another. There sure are tons of things going on. But there are only 2 key points, right? Firstly, we have to find out the true identity of the fake Sojima and his intentions. Secondly, we need to put an end to all these disappearances around the doll owners. Second one ought to be given first priority due to there already being a number of victims, plus the duty assigned to me is fight against the mastermind behind all these disappearances. We at the intelligence department will gather pictures of people around Sojima and try to identify the imposter. I'll show them to Suzunari and friends. I also already asked them for any pictures of self-proclaimed Sojima. Guess that's all we can do about that right now. What's more urgent is the knick-knack shop manager's missing friend and cousin. Needless to say, we have to prevent any more people from going missing. As for those 2 recent disappearances, we may still be able to save them if we act quickly enough. I'm going to work on multiple plans of actions later, but I assume the key will be an individual rather than location. It'll probably be most realistic to find out if there's anyone else on bad terms with the shop manager and keep an eye on them if there are any. That will require undercover action, which I believe we should leave to the intelligence department. There's no way ordinary people would believe us about why they need our protection. We won't have any problems with scouting out and monitoring possible targets, but our combatants are very limited. What do we do about that? I think that's where I should come. You've got to change that ringtone before it gives me a heart attack, high schooler. I'm actually a fan of it. Sorry about that. The screen displays the name Azuma. I excuse myself to the 3 men through eye contact. This is Amikawa. Can you talk now? Sure. I'm calling because I know you'll want to know what I got from my interview with the shop manager. I just got a bunch of new info too. Is it too much to share on the phone? It's a little complicated. Well, for him it might be a very simple matter. Should we meet up? Guess so, not bad timing. I've got somewhere to go this afternoon. Will you come along? Where's it at? It's less than a 20-minute drive from Kamasaki Station. I don't think it'll inconvenience you a lot. Is this about the doll? I think so. I'm going to be visiting the house that one of the missing used to live in. Got it. I'm coming with you. And there are scenarios available in other districts. Ah, Chiharu's apartment. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up before we finish up. His text message from yesterday really is so devastating. It still keeps warping me from within. I can't believe this. I've only read it that one time because I knew I would otherwise wind up too unable to hold myself back. I'm so happy that I received the message, and what makes me even more happy is that Amikawa had enough time to afford to text me in that way. I know he'll be fine. He'll be fine no matter what happens. I'll definitely see him at school after the break. Some foreshadowing there. That's why I need to spend my time for him, thinking of only him. My cell phone is older than any of my other classmates except one. It's the same model as Amikawa's, just in a different color. Despite knowing it's nothing more than a piece of machinery, it feels warm like a beating heart as I softly clutch it. Well, alright, that was nice and quick. I'm gonna end this here. Hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye.